So, hello and welcome to another episode of Slow Pit Stop. We're joined again by our favorite racing driver in the world, Bianca. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm currently here in Wimbledon in UK.
Wimbledon. I grew up near there.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's an
Yeah, yeah,
amazing place. I arrived about 2 days ago. I'm here for just a quick pit and just a bit of training, sim training before I fly off to France for the French Grand Prix.
yeah. Excellent. How long are you in the UK for?
I'm here till Tuesday. I'll be flying off Tuesday evening to France.
It's so busy, the schedule. You seem to always be in a different country. What is it like, all that travel? Is it tiring? How do you make sure you keep fit with all of that?
It's tiring. There's just a lot of things to manage outside of racing, like booking this, booking that, getting on the plane, and then finding out what to do and how to train, even though you're traveling so much. But it's an amazing experience to be able to experience all of this at the age of 17. It definitely taught me a lot, like to be responsible and everything. Like it's a big responsibility, or else you miss your race. So yeah.
Excellent. At the beginning of the year, you spoke about how this is really a year to learn and develop a lot. Now that we're in four races of 10, how do you feel your development is going?
Uh, well, I mean, we've made great progress. Like we went from barely driving a F3 car to being decently up there in the pace. Of course, there's just a lot more to learn. More technique. To be honest, technique, track time, and everything, and just being able to optimize that car. And it's always been a problem, really. We didn't have lots of confidence getting into that season, and we're slowly building it up, and and we're slowly getting there. We're getting quicker every time we drive, and I think that's a great step moving forward. And it's always tough. It's always a new racetrack for me every time I drive, and that has definitely slowed down the process a little bit just because we have so much to learn in such limited time, but it's a great experience. And yeah, I've grown massively this year. It's insane.
You're sat now with, I can see, a steering wheel there connected to your PC.
Yes.
I know from your Instagram stories you do a lot of practice um, on the simulator. How much does that help because like you said, time is so limited in the real car, you hardly get any practice. Does this help, or is it completely different when you're in the real car?
Well, it definitely helps a lot having a simulator because we don't get to drive in the track, so we will be racing in. And for a rookie like me, it definitely feels like a bit of a disadvantage, and that we have to like optimize everything in 30 minutes and learn this and learn that, and having a simulator and being able to drive on track, uh, and just having lots of laps around it, even though it's not the same as driving on real life. It definitely helps eliminate like learning the track, learning corners and everything, because it does feel a bit close and similar on like the corners and apex and everything.
When I was an intern at McLaren, I remember I used to be able to read reports that the drivers did. I remember there was a lot of stuff from Jensen Button. He used to be like, turn 15 is much more narrow than the simulator shows, and things like that. Do you find when you're trying to learn the tracks that you've memorized one thing, and when you get to the real circuit, it's completely different?
It is. That was the case for me in Miami. Like they tried to replicate Miami on the simulator. Unfortunately, it's never been driven before, so they don't have enough data to get it as close as it is in real life. And when I got there, I was just like completely lost. I was like, just definitely does not feel like as it does on the simulator. But the more laps you do it on it, it gets more natural. And having the sim did help a lot.
What what was it like going to Silverstone?
It was a whirlwind. That was definitely a whirlwind. Like it's just because everything comes at you so fast. Like it's so high speed, the corners, and it's just like you're trying to think about this corner, but then this corner comes at you, and then this, and then that, and then you're just like you're trying to like catch up so quickly, but it's just it's just too much corners and limited track time, and it gets so difficult. But I guess that taught me a lot as well. Like I was able to trust the car more, even though I wasn't able to optimize it and everything. I was able, I managed to drive it even with the difficult conditions that we had to face in Silverstone. We had to drive in adapters, and our practice session, we were running on rain tires for the first few laps because of the track condition. And that was definitely a new experience for me. I've never driven under rain. I've never driven with rain tires. So yeah, that's another positive that we will take away from the weekend.
How is, as someone who has no idea what he's talking about, how different are rain tires? What does it feel like? How does it change the car?
Oh well, this rain tires is it has a spike on him that gives you that more grip. It just gives you more grip, and when you're running through water, it just yeah, the car just feels more planted. Compared to slick tire where it's very bald and there's no spike on it, and yeah, I guess for me as well, I was like so shocked when I felt it, and that the rain tires had so much grip on them, even though we were driving on the rain, and that's something I've never felt before. And with the aero, it definitely made it a lot easier. But of course, it's another thing that I have to learn again. Like driving on rain is different from driving on the dry. The racing line is different. The technique, the braking, just everything.
So there's so much learning, rain, new car, new circuits, new countries. What's one thing that you know now that you wish you knew at the beginning of the year?
If there's definitely one thing I wish I knew then was that um, reading data. I guess when I was in karting, we weren't really that dependent on data. Like I myself didn't take the initiative to try and learn it, but now I really see how important it is in cars. Like knowing how to read data allows you to be able to translate that when you're driving, and like I guess at the start of the season, I was so lost in it. Like I didn't put in the effort to try and learn it, and I just, I had my coach with me, and he would usually translate it for me, and I guess that's a bad on my part. And so now I'm doing my best to learn it. I'm learning the graphs, the data, braking, and everything.
I've seen, people post data online for, the F1 races and things, and to me, it almost looks like, people that can read music.
Yes,
Like
it
I look at it and I'm
is.
like, I don't know what any of this says. It's just lines,
Yeah,
and it's the same because I can't read music. It just looks like lines.
yeah,
But other people
exactly.
look at it and go, oh, and here there's this and this and this. I'm like, I don't know what anyone's talking about.
It's a skill, to be honest. Like that's why I really appreciate and applaud all the race engineers for like F1, for W series, or just any series in general, because they just have so much experience on them that they can read the data. Like if it's a bad data, like just from looking at it, just having a glimpse, they could naturally tell if that's a bad driver or not, just because of looking at the brake trace, the map, and everything. And it's just amazing skill to have. And I guess the more you look into it, the more you know, and eventually it just looks like like words instead of.
Yeah, no, amazing. Um, how's everything with Dark Horse going? I'm on the Discord server. I see things are being released. It looks amazing. You're getting more and more followers. I think you went over 1 million likes on TikTok yesterday or day before.
Yeah, we reached 1 million on TikTok. It started off as a joke, you know, dancing videos before this whole thing came up on, and suddenly, yeah, 1 million likes, yay! But yeah, the TDH be a crew, they're amazing. They've been a lot of support. Like in Silverstone, this whole panda craze was reached another level. There was one of them, the Viet crew guys, went into the race in a panda costume, and it definitely made my day. It made my day. It was really funny and just amazing to see guys actually support me.
And this was from when you were asked about your favorite animal, and you said
Yes.
panda. And then you were asked, what noise does a panda make?
Ow! Gosh, yeah, and I love it. It actually is my favorite animal. I have like about 5 panda stuffed toys in my room, uh, and yeah, yeah, it's all fun. It's a great community.
Good. And You've had some downtime as well recently in between races. You got to go back to Philippines. What was that like?
Oh, that was amazing, to be honest. Like just coming home after a long race is definitely a good feeling. You know, my parents were there, and one of the best feelings ever was that I didn't have to cook my food. Like all I had to do was come home, go to bed, wake up, and have food ready. And when I was living in Indianapolis, I had to do it all myself. So that's definitely one of the best feelings.
So I saw this on your Instagram stories. You were like, how do I go to a shop and buy food? What was that like?
It's definitely an experience because like it's like 17. You don't really you don't notice it, but like you there's a transition from like being a child to having to do adult things, and apparently buying your own food and cooking it is one of those things. And I had zero idea what to do. I was on call with Daryl, my manager, and I was just like, what do you tell people? Like, how do you get the meat? And I was like, do I ask people like this and that? And I was like, no, you just get it yourself. I was like, oh gosh. So I went to the supermarket and I was asking him for a list of things to buy, like what condiments or like what type of meat. And then we settled with just having chicken tenderloins and chicken breast because it was the easiest one to cook.
Yeah.
And thankfully I was able to cook it. Yeah, nothing was burnt down or harmed.
Are you having to cook in the UK yourself, or are you being fed?
Uh, here in UK, not really. I've been surviving on Uber Eats lately.
Oh, nice, very good. Um, One question I was going to ask you is: in so many things have happened to you this year, what's the weirdest thing that's happened in all your journeys?
Oh, weirdest thing. I mean, everything's just been just magical, to be honest. So I wouldn't say it'd be a weird experience, but I
What's
need
the
a bit
most
of
unexpected
background.
thing?
Sorry.
The most unexpected thing, then.
I guess I can't really think of a specific like moment, but I guess just like meeting so many people. Like I've never met so many people in my life that I've met in the past 4 months. It's insane. Like right now, I'm in Wimbledon with my coach here in UK, Adam Christodoulou, and we've been doing team training, etc., and all that stuff. And I've never expected that I would be able to live in a different country and just be with all these people and train and do all of this, and all of this is for the sake of racing. And it's an amazing community. Like there's just so many people that understand what I'm going through, and it's just amazing to have them, supporting me and everything, helping me grow, and yeah, I think it's one of the most unexpected things. Like I've always been an introvert. Like because of the pandemic, I was stuck at home for 2 years. I wasn't able to go out because you needed to be 18 to go to the mall or do this and do that. So I was just like at home. And then suddenly I was brought into this world, and I'm very thankful to
Amazing.
everyone that's helped.
Speaking of community and support, I don't know if you saw, there was an Instagram story that Lewis Hamilton posted where he was watching the W Series. I think it was qualifying, and you could see your name on the screen. And I thought, wow, you're in Lewis Hamilton's Instagram stories. How cool is that?
Yeah, I didn't even see it because I barely have my phone whenever. Well, I do have my phone, but I barely go on Instagram, and my friend sent it to me, and I was like, congratulations, Alex, you can see your name, Bustamante. And like I guess like my friends are very like fanboys and fangirls, and I myself I'm a fangirl, and we were brought up into that sort of like just environment where we like freak out about the smallest
Yeah,
thing, and I was freaking out about that. And it's just amazing to like have those like people you look up to, like I look up to a 7-time world champion, just watch the freaking qualifying. That's
yeah,
amazing. And it definitely gives us a lot of confidence boost, and just knowing that there's people out there that believes and supports, and like it just boosts the morale of the drivers. Like when I knew that instantly, I smiled, straight from the bat. Even though the qualifying didn't go as well as I wanted it to, I was happy because I'm one step closer to my dream. Every day we're making progress every day, and people notice it. Like people notice us and notice the hard work we do.
yeah. So I know. Silverstone was a difficult weekend. There was lots of things, new circuit, lots of corners, rain. But it reminds me a lot of your hero Nicky Lauda, and he talks about you learn so much more from the difficult times than easy wins. So, how are you taking all of that and preparing for France? What have you been doing? What are you going to do between now and then?
Oh gosh. Well, Nicky Loud is a very wise man. That's for sure, and it's very true. You learn more when you lose than when you win, and and yeah, we found out a lot of errors and a lot of things to improve on, and that's always a good thing. Coming like going away from a weekend, finishing a weekend, knowing what he could have done, what he could improve on, and using all of that information, put it on the next race weekend is one of the best feelings ever. And now we know, what we sort of lack in Silverstone, lack of some like lack of sim time, lack of just fundamentals, driving, etc. And yeah, and now we just know what to focus on the most for France, and I guess France would be a bit easier on us because it's someone's home track. Like for Silverstone, it was already like we already knew, we already expected that how the field was going to be just insanely quick, straight on. And and I guess for Paul Rickard, everyone's sort of in the same boat as I am.
Mm.
I've never driven there, and it's just it kind of evils out the playing field. Ah, I loved it. There's been there's this minions trend going on, but you have to watch it with a full suit on, and the Gentleminions, yes, like really professional. And I brought out my nicest pair of trousers, and I wore like a nice bracelet, did my makeup, did my hair, and all of that just to watch the minions. I was like, if I have a free time, I'm gonna do this because I've always loved watching cartoons. To be honest, I'm a big cartoon girl, and I love anime, and I love Minions. So I went there like I was the minute I was home. We booked the tickets, and I got to watch it with my friends and family, and that was always nice. Fun fact: I haven't been to a theater in like a year or two because like the
Because of
last time I
COVID.
was before the pandemic. So it was nice to be back again after 2 years.
That's great. We see a lot of stuff right now in the media about the cinema and racing. I think Lewis Hamilton's working with a studio to make stuff about himself, and then Keanu Reeves is doing something about the 2009 Formula One season. If they made a film about the Bianca story,
Oh,
who would play Bianca?
I don't know. Well, I'm not very good looking, so I don't know if there's many actors that would accept the role. So I don't know, to be honest. That's tough.
Would you want it to be a serious drama or a comedy? How would you do it?
Uh, well, I think my life, to be honest, was a bit of a drama. It's big on drama, like just growing up in Asia and racing, etc., and everything in between. It's spicy. It has lots of flavors and characters to it. So definitely, I will be able to be given the opportunity to do like a documentary or just show people where I come from and show people who I really am outside of the camera and outside of racing. That'd be amazing. Because I don't think that's a problem I think with like racing. People don't really know what we are outside of it. Like we're
Yeah.
just normal human beings struggling to finish high school. Well, that's that's me.
Do you still have to do all your studies and things just now?
Yes, I just moved up from year 11, so I'm off to year 12, and then I'm off to university, and that's another drama that I have to deal with applying for universities, knowing which path I want to go to in my life, and having racing alongside it made it a bit tough, especially deciding what course I want to get into. Because originally I've always wanted to do engineering, and architecture, but I think with a timetable I have, it's a bit difficult.
So I remember Nico Rosberg was going to do engineering in London, wasn't he? Imperial. He got a seat there.
Yes, I mean, if I'm given the opportunity to be able, like, to just be able to do it both at the same time, love, I would love to.
One final thing: do you have any message for your fans? Um, we're watching you, we're supporting you, we're really excited to see you back in the points, and then hopefully very soon on the podium and on the top step of the podium. Anything you want to say to them?
Just the warmest and deepest thank you. Like, it's insane that people actually, like, believed and support. I honestly came into this thinking that I was all alone, that I didn't have anyone, but then I have everyone I need to be able to make it. I have my friends, my family, and I have you guys supporting me from just all over the world. And I would receive messages in different languages, and I'd have to Google translate it. It's insane, and it just brights up my day. To be honest, like, it just makes me smile, and it warms my heart, and it inspires me to keep on pushing. Like, I've had many people say that, oh, you're the reason why I got into racing. You inspire me to do this and do that. But to be honest, I'm more inspired by you guys, and I feel like I'm inspiring you. So yeah, I draw so much inspiration from you guys, and I'm just so thankful.
Thank you very much. But you take care of yourself, and we'll see you very, very soon.
Yes, hopefully after Hungary.
Yeah, see you soon.
See ya.